Hi guys, we're here in New Hampshire at Bauer's headquarters with Carolyn, product line manager of sticks for Bauer Hockey. Now we have your new Supreme line in front of us. Before we hop into specs here, how would you describe the overall flex profile and maybe the style of player this is geared for?
Sure, so our Supreme line, it's a very high kick point stick, and what that means is a lot of stability in the lower third of the stick. Great for really heavy shooters, people who take a lot of heavy slap shots, one-timers, or even players who take a really heavy wrist shot, so really like to load up the stick, that old school wrist shot type player.
Gotcha, kind of pulling it from way behind you.
You know, loads a little slower than some of our other sticks, but does a great job storing energy for kind of maximum power, maximum shot speed.
Kind of that OV style shooter, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So let's hop into the new 1S here. We've got some real exciting technology. So let's start with the blade. What do we have going on there?
So a great new blade technology for us this year, really innovative. It's called our RenewCore blade technology. And what it is, it's actually a thermostable gel that we've placed on the front face of the blade. And what that allows, it does two things for the stick. Certainly in terms of feel and playability. You know, the PowerSense blade is generally considered one of our best feeling blades. You know, nice, soft, great puck feel. So what this does, adds a cushion layer to the front face, takes that feel, you know, up even further. And the second big component is actually around durability and playability of the stick. So this gel, it's thermostable, which means it stays kind of in this viscous state, you know, from -20 up to 150, you know, any temperature range. But as a blade fatigues, and blades do fatigue, unfortunately, we do our best to prevent it. You know, the foam will form micro cracks, and this gel is actually molded under pressure, and so the gel will then flow through those micro cracks and act as a glue and adhesive to really hold the structure and hold the blade and maintain that playability through the life of the blade. So
is that something similar as far as the effects go to what we see in the Last Tech resin, how it kind of helps prevent the spreading of those microfractures?
Absolutely. And you know, normally we do a lot of testing on our sticks, and you know, normally our benchmark used to be, hey, as long as the stick doesn't break, it passes our test. But throughout that, our sticks would actually have about a 10% loss in blade stiffness, you know, even if they didn't break. With our new RenewCore technology, there's actually no change in blade stiffness.
Wow.
From, you know, shot 0 all the way through shot 400 is part of those testing. So definitely something we're excited about. Not even something that's off the shelf. One of our young engineers came up with the idea, and we actually manufacture it and develop it in-house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so maybe for someone who's using the older 1S, how would you describe just the differences in feel with this one?
Should actually be no real difference in feel. We wanted to make sure we maintain it. Probably a little, maybe a touch softer when you think of those hard, you know, those hard pass receptions, anything like that. But everything that's good about a Supreme stick, you know, that blade settling right down. That's everything. You know, we look to bring to market with this one. And
you guys didn't just stop with the blade too, didn't you improve the flex profile on it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've done is we've called this our extended transfer zone. It's kind of in the middle of the stick. That's all about how the stick loads.
Okay.
So one of the tendencies with Supreme, for anybody who's played with Supreme sticks, could be a little sensitive to hand positioning. You know, players who had a lot of success with it tended to have a pretty high hand positioning. And what our extended transfer zone has done, particularly for wrist shots and slap shots, is given the player about an 8 to 10 inch zone through the mid shaft of the stick, where regardless of their hand positioning, you know, the game's moving quicker, you may not have a chance to get your hand exactly where you'd like it. Through that 8 to 10 inch zone in the middle of the stick, to be able to load the stick just as effectively. So with that's a 11% improvement over the season 16 1S.
Awesome.
So for a lot of great wrister snappers, just really elevate that performance for those shots.
Giving you a bigger sweet spot through the middle of the stick.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And so it sounds like you also improved the lower price points too. So maybe can we go through and just maybe hit and highlight a couple per model?
Yeah, absolutely. For the S190, great, kind of considered our team stick. Does really one of our kind of emotional favorites here in the office. Great value stick. $199 US. We've actually, key upgrade, you know, has the PowerSense 2 blade core in it, but we've brought that extended transfer zone down to this price point as well. So you have a full 12K full carbon stick, you know, high-end blade technology, and we've brought that extended transfer zone down to get that great shooting performance.
Awesome.
For the stick.
And what about our 180 here?
So the S180, the key upgrades, you know, this is $149 US, great value stick, you know, full 3K carbon throughout this stick. Key upgrade for season 17 is the improved balance point. Just improve that playability of that stick for those players in that performance price range.
Absolutely. And then what about these two? From my
Yeah.
understanding, we have a new blade core.
We do. So something we take a lot of pride in is ensuring we're not just innovating at the top end, but also innovating throughout our line. So for the S170 and S160, both of these actually have 2 patented blade technologies in them. Our stitch core that we've talked a lot about and had in our line, but we've actually brought over a new technology for season 17, and that's a carbon bridge core. So we have our bridge core blade technology through the middle of the blade. And what that is, that's essentially a carbon bridge running through the middle of the blade. We actually, that is part of the Easton acquisition. That's an Easton technology that they use in their high-end sticks.
Right.
Where we felt, just at this point, our performance recreational level 6, just to improve the playability performance for that player. Felt it was a really great upgrade for these sticks, and are excited to bring them to market in 17.
Absolutely. We're excited as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us out here.
No problem.
And then for you guys at home that want to check out more of these great Bauer sticks, make sure you go to icewarehouse.com.